Milwaukee draft beer is so good and light, some people will go to any lengths to get it home. You've gone to great lengths to bring home draft beer. It is the best kind of beer. But look, Old Milwaukee light draft beer comes in bottles and cans. It's premium brewed by the Schlitz Brewing Company. A process has been discovered to put this light draft beer in bottles and cans. So now, every bottle or can of Old Milwaukee beer is genuine draft beer. Have one, have another. Old Milwaukee is the light draft beer.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Championship Bowling here at the beautiful Orchard Twin Bowl in Skokie, Illinois. This is Fred Wolf, and things are getting very exciting. We're now approaching the semifinals as we keep matching winner against winner. We started with a field of 24. That field has now been eliminated to the point where Ray Bluth, if you were with us last week, won a real thriller, 662 to 661 over Glenn Ellison, to become our first semifinalist. This week, it'll be Bill Lillard of St. Louis meeting Eddie Kawolics of Chicago, the winner moving out in the semifinals to join Ray Bluth. In 2 weeks, Billy Golubievsky and Don Ellis, that winner moving out, will give us our third semifinalist. Let's meet these two boys now. We'll be going to work, $1,000 to the winner, and the big money, of course, going to our eventual champion, $10,000 additional dollars. Introducing first, from Chicago, Eddie Kawolics.
Fine.
Shake off that virus that we had a few weeks ago?
That's right.
You're in real good condition, and I'm afraid you'll have to be. You got a tough boy here. You've watched him before, I'm sure. Let's bring him out. William Terrell Lillard from St. Louis. Hi, Bill. Ready? Oh, that Terrell doesn't bother me. I think that is a real wonderful name. You should be proud of that.
Family name.
Family name. Good for you. Now, you fellas know the rules. Once again, for our television audience, $1,000 to the winner. 3 games will decide the winner. The winner moving on into the semifinals. Game money, $50, $75, $100 to the winner of each game. The perfect score, of course, is worth $10,000. All competition sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress. No questions?
No questions.
No questions. There has been a toss of the coin for the starting lane.
I won it.
And you're the winner?
We'll start on the outside.
You'll start on the right side. That means, Bill, you'll be on the left side. In the first and third game, Eddie, you will start the second game. Ladies and gentlemen of Skokie, Illinois, we are ready. Are you? Here we go.
Okay, Smokey, jump! Jump! Smokey!
Smokey can't learn any new tricks now. He's thinking about his new improved gravy train. So new, even the recipe's changed. Now you use less water. Just 1 cup water for every 2 cups gravy train. And see, the gravy's richer, the chunks crunchier, and the flavor bigger than ever. Who says you can't teach an old dog food new tricks?
Eddie Kawolics winning the toss, electing to start on the right side. That has been the pattern, although there have been some exceptions. Kawolics forcing Lillard to start the first game. All games starting on the left. That bowler sitting down, then the competition goes right-left 2 frames. Each bowler bowling 2 complete frames as Lillard goes all the way to the Brooklyn side, leaves the 5 and the 10. Well, Bill just hung on to that one a little too long. And I believe that's the first 5-10 we've looked at here in this series from the Orchard Twin Bowl in Skokie, Illinois. Let's watch Mr. Lillard. He's got to shave that 5-pin pretty close. He gives it a good try, and he's open in the first frame. So Kawolics with a fill will have the early lead. Here's a guy that's been around for a good many years. He admits to bowling for the past 40 years. Still throws a 2-finger ball. Eddie says he's tried the 3 a few times for a week or 2, but he always goes back to a 2-finger ball. Nice lift, throws in, carries, first strike. Now, Lillard has been quite consistent. He shot .636 to defeat Fred Ricchilli of Los Angeles, .646 to defeat Buzz Fazio of Detroit. Kawolics started out beautifully with a .682 total to defeat Stan Gifford of Chicago. Then he defeated Dick Hoover of St. Louis with .664. So Eddie doing very well. There's two. Gets a great start, taking full advantage of Bill Lillard's open in the first frame. So here we have Kawolics at least 21 pins ahead in the first frame of game number 1. Championship Bowling's All-Star Television Tournament. You see the great stars in the game every week. Hope you can stay with us. This is Fred Wolf, along with Whitey Harris, as things begin to get very exciting as we get near the end. Brooklyn again, and Bill gets that. So Billy with two Brooklyns. And the second one he made good. And Bill is a boy that keeps that left heel well polished. He'll grind it out with a towel almost every ball that he throws. Bill uses the bowler's glove. We're in the third. Lillard on a strike. Kawolic is on 2. Here comes the wind, and he doesn't get there. This time the 1-2-10. Well, after crossing on the Brooklyn in the first frame, in fact, Bill almost missed a head pin on the left. He thought he'd give that one a little room to run, and he just overturned on top. Nothing there. He missed the head pin, the 1-2-10. Gotta hurry. Doesn't get there. And Lillard is open it again. 28. 37. And Eddie Kawolics has a tremendous opportunity here to get himself away with a nice lead. And he may need it before it's over. Big lift. Sets it. He's got it. Well, for a fella that's been in the game as long as this fella has, boy, he's getting that ball out there beautifully. At least 2 feet over the foul line, straight up, and that ball holds the line very tight here on the right side. And that's the type of ball you've got to throw. Eddie prefers the left side, where he is at the moment. He won this toss. He wants to finish over here in the first and third game. Dig. He's got it. Well, here's a fella who has piled up one of the biggest leads at the end of 3 frames. Kawolics' potential 90 in the third as we fill in the 30s has a lead of 53 pins in 3 frames. Of course, Eddie has bowled in the 4th. But Lillard is anchored with 37. He can't do much about it. Here comes Lillard. 5-7 this trip. So Bill has had them all. The 5-10, the 5-7, the 1-2-10 in 4 frames. Well, there's still a few more. The 4-6, the big 4, the 8-10. Let's hope that Bill can stay away from those. He's moved to the extreme left now. He may have it. Oh, how close can you come? Lillard, that ball actually finished up in the pit when it hit the cushion behind the 5-pin. He went right around it. So Eddie Kawolics could have himself almost 90 pins in 5 frames. Almost sounds impossible. Eddie can have 150 in the 5th, and Lillard could have 54. Let's hope that doesn't happen as far as Lillard is concerned. And Bill winds this one. Here it comes. There we go. So William Terrell Lillard has himself quite a job cut out here. And, of course, he has had about the worst luck he could possibly have. And he's run into a fellow who has started with 4. So it's from one extreme to the other, as Eddie now will try to give it the big lift, hold the tight line,
keep that ball high. In his last match, Eddie was short here quite a few times. Be careful. Too tight. Well, there was the tight line with a little jump on the end. Eddie gave it too much. The 4-10. That's a life for Lillard, and Bill has a chance now to grind out a few strikes and get back into this one. Bill trails by 63 pins in the fourth frame. Too much of the 4. Tried to get it off the kickback. So at the end of 5 in the first game, Kawolics with 116. He's open. Lillard is 45 with a strike in the 5th. Here it comes. There it is. Nice action by Eddie Kawolics. So Eddie has made one mistake, paid the full penalty, wide open, 4-10, strike in the 5th, and Lillard now has got to get on the line. He can pick up 20 pins with this strike. With Kawolics open in the 5th, Lillard working on a strike in the 5th, toes the 15-foot mark. The stride, the ball is there. So Billy now, Sweet William as they call him sometimes, gets back into this one, is pulled within 40 pins of his opponent. And he's got 4 frames left. Bill extending that hand over the Brunswick hand dryer, another marvelous convenience to make this game so much more fun. Everything just the way you want it. We're in the 7th. On 2. Lillard throws. Be careful. Too high. Breaks it up. 4-7. Bill is a Texas boy born in Fort Worth in 1927. Moved to Dallas as a youngster. Won about every major Texas title he could. Left Dallas. Came to Chicago in 1951. Spent a year in Detroit in 54. Then went to St. Louis in 57. There it is. Got it. Bill actually left Chicago in 51, went to Detroit in 54, and then went back to Chicago, and then on to St. Louis. He's a member of the Brunswick advisory staff. Very popular around the country. As Kawolics now in the 7th on the strike, throws back in there. Snake eyes. 8-10. Well, Eddie tries to hold that tight line as we keep referring to that. That simply means, of course, that he does not use too much of the lane. He holds that ball on possibly 3 or 4 boards. He gave it a little too much lift in the 5th. He thought he'd set that one, and brother, when it got there, there wasn't much left. So it's a pocket split. 8-10, Snake Eyes. I think that's the second one we've had in all of our matches here on Championship Bowling's All-Star Television Tournament from the Orchard Twin Bowl in Skokie, Illinois. Both of these lanes have been resurfaced. Brand new Brunswick Red Crown Dura King plastic-coated pins. Believe me, you've got to knock them down. They're not easy back there. It is 8-pin. Oh, how about that? Well, Eddie carried the 10 that time anyway, didn't he? Boy, that was solid. So Lillard getting a break here, actually. It looked like Kawolics was going to be long gone. So Eddie with 2 openers. Lillard catching 1 double. Bill has had 3 openers as Kawolics covers the 8th. A great match last week when Ray Bluth beat Glenn Ellison 662 to 661. We're in the 8th. The winner of this match moves out into the semifinals to join Ray Bluth. Look out, Bill. He got away with another one. That's the second Brooklyn or Jersey. Call it what you will. Bill doesn't mind. It's already posted on that scoreboard. Maybe you can remember the championship bowling series in Paramus, New Jersey, when Lillard went 10 straight weeks. You've watched these stars in action on championship bowling from Louisville, Kentucky, Coral Gables, Florida, Chicago Heights, Chicago, Toledo, Ohio. This year, Skokie, Illinois. Lillard wants the double. He's got it. So Bill roaring back here. He trailed by 62 pins in the fourth frame. And it's interesting to note that if Lillard goes all the way, he can get 203. He can make Kawolics mark. Eddie throws too high. And here's a 310. So Kawolics being quite a gentleman here, giving 60 pins back. Now Eddie needs this one, and he needs it badly. Because if Lillard comes back with 2 strikes in the 10th, Lillard could be the winner. The 3 and the 10, and Kawolics made it. Nice shot. Eddie moves left now, and Lillard is within 19 pins. So Eddie can shut the door here with a double. If he doesn't strike, Lillard can pull out the first game. Oh, he didn't strike. He almost left the 4-7-10. So Kawolics now with a cover and the full count, 200. Lillard will need 2 strikes and 8 pins to win this first game when he trailed by as many as 62 pins in the fourth frame. Hard to believe, isn't it? But that's how the tide can change. How the worm can turn. 4-7. Look out, Eddie. Look out! 189 after starting with 4 in a row, and Lillard needs 1 strike. Lillard needs a strike in 7. Now, I don't think any of us, including yourself, would have given Lillard much of a chance here in the first game. Here it is. He buries it and is going to win this first game, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not. Bill can go all the way for 203. He needs 7 pins and a cover for 190. He's got more than 7. Boy, he's in there for the 200 game. Now, many bowlers, I'm sure, would have been completely flustered after the start that Bill had. In the first frame, he threw one across on the Brooklyn side, and he left the 5-10. The second frame, he got a Brooklyn. Then he threw one out too far, the 1-2-10. Then a pocket hit, the 5-7. Looked like he'd never get off the ground. He caught a double, went too high in the 7th, and is working on 4. This one will make it 5. He goes all the way for 202. Missed on his last ball. 29 pins in the 10th. The winner of the first game is Bill Lillard with 202 over Eddie Kawolics, 189. 2 games to go. Could be another close one coming up, so don't go away. From Skokie, Illinois, at the Orchard Twin Bowl, Fred Wolf. Right now, our hosts.
For the best combination of filter and good taste, Kent satisfies best. Kent satisfies best. Kent satisfies best. For the best combination of filter and good taste, Kent satisfies best.
Kent, the only cigarette with the highly adsorptive micronite filter. The one cigarette that blends flavor-matured tobaccos. No wonder.
Kent satisfies best. Kent satisfies best. For the best combination of filter and good taste, Kent right about here. Wouldn't you like real beer? Well, your kind of beer is Schaefer.
The scores for the first game, Eddie Kawolics, 189. Bill Lillard, who was trailing by 62 pins in the fourth frame, is the winner with 202. Billy, $50. Can you believe that?
No, sir, I sure can't. I had my bags packed.
You had your bags packed. Well, Eddie's a real nice fellow. I think he's letting you feel like maybe you're going to stay here or come back again in a few weeks, but look out for him in the next
I don't think that's going to happen again.
Here we go. Let's give him a little encouragement.
Eddie Kawolics starting the second game, left side. And Eddie, who had that big lead, gave it all away. Throws, and he starts again with a strike. Eddie started the first game with 4 in a row. Looked like he was long gone. And then something happened. A 4-10, an 8-10, a 3-10, and he missed the 4-7 in the 10th frame. Lillard with a lead of 13 pins. Throws, 4 pins stops him. So Eddie has a chance to move back in this one. Bill was the 1956 National All-Star champion. Title he won in Chicago. Same year, the Bowling Writers Association of America named him as their Bowler of the Year. One of the most coveted awards that any bowler can win. 4-pin. Bill has that. Lillard turned in a great job in Omaha, Nebraska. In the 1960 All-Star, he was a finalist, was in the running right up to the last 2 rounds. Finally finished about 5th. Threw his first bowling ball in junior high school when he was only 12 years old. On the spare, second frame, second game. Here it comes. There it is. And Billy jumping around a bit. As Eddie Kawolics will try to get that running start again and not mess it up like he did in the first game. On a strike. Big turn, never get there. He has the 2-5, and this is the side that Kawolics is very uncertain on, and we've seen that already. He came over here on 4 and left the 4-10. Then he caught a strike and came right back here and left the 8-10. And then he went a little high and left the 3-10. 3 consecutive frames. He's got it. 3 splits in a row on the right side. As Eddie covers, the boys are 20 apiece. Lillard with the advantage now. Bill on the strike. Eddie is on the spare. There it is. Right on that line. And boy, Eddie's not having any trouble over there, I'll tell you. As Lillard moves in on the right with a lead of 13, a chance to make it 23. He is on the strike, and he's going to try to make it good. The first double is the tough one in any game. And, of course, in a 3-game match, you want that first double quick. Lillard throws there. He's got it. Big double. And Lillard now has 23 to work on. Well, you folks that watch championship bowling week in and week out, I just wonder how many of you have never bowled. I'll tell you something. You don't know what you're missing. Here's a sport that has everything. Plenty of friendly competition, low cost, it's easy to learn, and I'll tell you, it's a challenge to master. A lot of fine exercise. Nothing like a good game at your neighborhood bowling establishment. Put a sparkle in your eye, I'll tell you. Hurry up. There's another one, number 3. So Billy with a turkey. If you've been around in some of the beautiful establishments around the nation, I'm sure you'll find men, women, children, all ages, from 7 to 70. Maybe you just will never be a great all-star, but I'll tell you this, you'll have more fun than the all-stars do. It is. All right. And Eddie finally gets the one he wants. And it's been a long time over here, hasn't it, Ed? Looking back, Eddie hasn't had a strike on the right side since the third frame of the first game, which gave him a triple. So Kawolics trails by 23. We're in the fifth frame, almost halfway, the second game. Eddie would like this one. He's there. He's got it. Oh, a nice lift, and Kawolics suddenly bounces right back to let Mr. Lillard know that he's not going to be as easy as he was in the first game. As Lillard moves in on 3, the winner here moves out into the semifinals. Ray Bluth is already qualified. Next week, the winner of the Billy Golubievsky-Don Ellis match will give us our third semifinalist. Look out, Bill. Too high. 6-10. And that keeps Mr. Kawolics in the running. In fact, Eddie's picked up 2 pins in counts, another strike, and this match will be within a pin. Going away. He's got it. Boy, Bill's shaking his head and taking a sigh there. Bill dropped that ball. Actually, he laid that one down on this side of the foul line. So at the end of 5, it's Lillard, 98 with a spare. Kawolic is on 3. Lillard winds it up. There it is. So Bill just a little high in the 5th, stopped his string, but he's right back. And now Eddie Kawolics, who is on 3 in a row, started the first game with 4, had a 62-pin lead in the 4th frame, and he lost the game by 13. That's 75 pins that Eddie lost in the last 6. Wants this one. He's there. He's got it. So the Chicago veteran bounces back and now is within 1 pin of Bill Lillard. We have gone 16 frames, 1 pin separating these two fellas. We went 30 pins last week, and Ray Bluth had 662 and Glenn Ellison had 661. So Eddie now with a chance to put his opponent on the spot. This would give him a temporary lead. Look out there, he's got it. Boy, he's buried that one. 5 in a row, and now Bill Lillard finds himself on the spot. Kawolic picked up another one. Lillard moves into the 7th frame, working on a strike, and he needs the double. Lillard on the big one, throws, he's right there, and he matches Kawolics with the double. So it looks like this, at the end of 7, just 1 pin. Lillard is on 2, 118 double. Kawolics is 130 on a double. Eddie's picked up 12 of the 13 pins. We go into the 8th frame. Kawolics works on 5. Now, occasionally, we've been picking up a little click when Lillard gets to the line. He seems to be hitting that ball somewhere. Oh, look! Oh, about it! Well, that pin just got down in time. The Brunswick automatic pin setter was ready to come down, and, of course, had it touched the pin on the way down, it would have had to been re-spot. That's the American Bowling Congress rule. Man, there was what we really call a blind stab. Thank you, Al Savis. Boy, he was through the middle, and he was out the boulevard. He was all over. Eddie throws thin, and he's in there, and brother, this boy is really coming back. Eddie Kawolics, who started the first game with 4, and brother, then the roof dropped in on him. A 4-10 on the right side, then an 8-10, then a 3-10, then he missed a very easy 4-7 in the 10th. He let Lillard beat him in the first game after leading him by 62 pins in the 4th. Right now he's on 6 in a row. He's within 1 pin of his opponent. He'll try to put Lillard on the spot again, and he does. And the old boy from Chicago is lining him out. Man, what a great comeback we are seeing here. Both boys, actually. They both have had their troubles. Lillard in the first 4 frames, he only had 45. It looked like he'd never get straightened himself out beautifully. Came back. Kawolics started great and then run into trouble and now has straightened himself out. Lillard in the 9th. Throws it in and he carries that one. And brother, now the tension begins to mount. This means quite a lot to each one of these boys. $1,000 here for, of course, the winner of the 3 games. Then to get into the semifinals and to become a finalist where he can win $10,000 more. So it's an $11,000 match. And we're going into the 10th frame with a potential 268 for Lillard, a 280 for Kawolics. Lillard in the 10th will bowl out first. He is on the nose, and he couldn't do it again. So Bill made the same mistake twice. He sure got away with one in the 8th. Right through the middle, pins were rolling all around the pin deck, and he finally kicked the 6. This time he has the 6 with company, the 4 pin. So this, game number 2, has got to go to Kawolics. And Eddie actually should take the lead with a spare. There it is. Kawolics, who was trailing by 1 pin going into the 10th frame. And these 10th frames have been quite tragic. Kawolics missing a 4-7 against Lillard's double. Here we have a 4-6 by Lillard. And if Eddie goes all the way, he'll have the high single game of this series from the Orchard Twin Bowl in Skokie, Illinois. He's on a string a mile long. 1 more. Boy, Eddie didn't know where he threw that one. Eddie's making faces. That went down there on the first bounce. He dropped that one behind the foul line. He has a word or two for Mr. Lillard, and that just about evens it up. Lillard caved one in, and I don't think Eddie knew where he threw that one. That's the fastest ball I've seen Kawolics throw in 20 years. On the right side, I am sure that Eddie is not too sure of what he's doing. But, boy, the results are satisfying. On the nose, he couldn't do it again. Leaves the 3 pin for a 269. That'll be the high single game. 266 by Tom Hennessy and a 266 by Don Ellis. That was the high single. And Eddie Kawolics, who had the high single earlier, a 257, comes back with 269. Great game. And now we have Eddie out in front as we go into the 3rd game. Kawolics 269. Bill Lillard with a big 4-6 in the 10th. 234. Quite a game. But the big game is still to come. Don't go away. Fred Wolf here in Skokie, Illinois. Now our hosts out along the network.
Right about here, wouldn't you like a beer?
And your kind of beer is Schaefer.
It's very clear if you want real beer, your kind of beer is Schaefer.
When beer has that just right taste, experts call it round. That means a smooth harmony of flavors, no rough edges. And it's that kind of flavor that makes Schaefer your kind of beer. Schaefer has a truly round taste. It's real beer. Next time you order beer, make it Schaefer, America's oldest lager beer.
It's very clear if you want real beer, your kind of beer is Schaefer.
York is longer than king size, longer than any other leading cigarette. So York travels the smoke farther to improve smoking taste. York has no filter. York uses its new length instead of a filter to make rich tobaccos taste mild. It's a new kind of mild taste with a special smoothness as the rich tobacco flavor flows through to you. Try York.
Never a flavor so rich, York. Never a taste so smooth, York.
York Imperial Size Cigarette. York Imperial Size Cigarette.
The scores for the second game, a beautiful game here. Bill Lillard with 234, and that's not enough to win. Eddie Kawolics with 269, the highest game roll thus far. Eddie Kawolics. Congratulations, Thank you very much. $75 game money. I know you're not too interested in that. You'd like to hang on here to get into the semifinals.
I sure would.
Well, you got 22 pins, Eddie.
Well, I'll get more.
Might be the magic number. You can lose this game by 21.
That's right.
That right?
That's
You
right.
want to do that?
No, I want to win it by 21.
No, you want to win it by 21. All right, we're ready for game number 3. Now, a little encouragement for both these boys, and we're off.
Third game, final game. One of these boys, of course, will be eliminated. The winner moves into the semifinals. Eddie Kawolics with his 269, the highest game roll thus far. Lillard winds one up, cranks it in there. Look at that action.
Boy, he just took the labels right off of him, I'll tell you. Picked them up and laid them down. There's a great ball, a real picture shot when you see that. So Lillard is not going to play dead. He trails by 22 pins. Kawolics has the lead. He can make a mistake or two along the line. But he's got to be careful. Lillard may string them out. Eddie on the right, lifts, big ball, he's there. Carries, all but the 4. The rock and the roll in the Brunswick Automatic Pin Setter, one of the real mechanical wonders of this age, sets that 4-pin right back there. Puts the wiggle back on it, puts it back off spot. If, of course, the pin was off the spot when it picked it up. One of the American Bowling Congress requirements. So Kawolic with the cover will have the spare. Lillard has a chance to pull back quickly. He is on the strike. There's the cover. So Kawolic will move left. Our prize list now up to $33,775. That's what the boys have received thus far. And there's more. $10,000 to the eventual winner. An additional $5,000 to the runner-up. The winner here gets $1,000. Both these boys have won 2 matches. Eddie throws, he sets it. He's there. Well, that 4-pin, the difference between a double, as Lillard now, who can't make too many mistakes and can't get too many bad breaks when you trail by 22 pins and you've got an opponent like Ed Kawolics. It's too high, and look at that one, the picket fence. 4, 7, 9, 10. Bill with a big lift. And Bill can't afford this. Bill Lillard, St. Louis, 4, 7, 9, 10. Let's watch him. This, of course, can be made. It's not as difficult as it looks. Shave that 4-pin. The 4 will hit the 9. The 9 should hit the 10, but not this trip. Lillard is open, 18 and 8, 26 in the second. And Kawolics now rests on some 35 pins. 8 frames to go. As William Terrell Lillard moves left. The Lillard family, a bowling family. Bill actually met his beautiful wife, Dorothy, in a Dallas bowling establishment. So it's been a bowling romance. Bill doesn't get there, very unhappy with what happened in the second frame, the 2-4-5.
So Lillard will move to the left side of the approach, watching the 2 off the 5. He's covering the 2-5 for the spares. Kawolics now can make some hay here with a double. Kawolics 458 going in. Lillard 436. Kawolics is averaging 225 per game for the 5 games that he has bowled. Very consistent. 682, 664. There's the big reach. Got a hustle. Gets there. And brother, Eddie knew that was a big one. Jumping on that open frame of Lillard's in the second as Eddie gets the double. We go into the 4th frame. And Kawolics now, with 24 pins on top of his 22, has a lead of some 46 pins. He has 7 frames to hang on. Oh, he's there. There's nobody going to deny this fella. A very peculiar performance, really, in that Eddie started with 4 solid strikes. And brother, for 6 frames, he didn't know his name. He had a lead of 62 pins, and he lost the first game by 13. He lost 75 pins in 6 frames. Lillard over on the Brooklyn side, the old Jersey. And Bill's been over there 3 times. So let's see what he can do with it. After all the trouble that Eddie had in the last 5 frames of the first game, that second game was a picture. Started with a strike, was a little short in the second, and then piled in 8 in a row for 269. Lillard throws in, carries, all but the 8 pin. Oh, man, when they get you down, they keep you down. And Billy talking to himself. By the way, Bill has a nickname. Some of the boys call him Mumbles. He'll throw the ball and then, well, talk to himself all about it. About how the world fell in around him. How things are against him. Look out. Eddie Kawolics let out a yell. He said, look out. Kawolics sits on 3. Boy, one more, he can coast home. And it'll put him in the semifinals. A man that's been at it for over 40 years, Eddie Kawolics, getting the big chance of his life. This would be a great title for this fella. If he can hang on to the youngsters, he'll have Ray Bluth to contend with. He's pretty tough. There it is, 4-5. We've seen this one a few times on the right side. Tom Hennessy had it a couple times. Next week, it'll be Billy Golubievsky and Don Ellis. The sensational Don Ellis, who has been out twice, won both of his matches, with the only 2 700 totals turned in thus far. The 4-5, the ball between the 2 pins. Dig it a little. Not enough. Eddie's open. So at the end of 5 in game number 3, Bill Lillard is still alive. 66 spare. Kawolics with the split is 106. Last half of the 3rd game. Kawolics with about 40 pins to work on. 5 frames to hold on. Doesn't get there. Boy, here's a tough shot. 2, 5, 8. Don't go away. This one could get very close. Lillard, with about a turkey in here, could suddenly be in this thing again. Kawolics, who was open in the 5th, finds himself with a real tough one here. The 2, the 5, and the 8 on Eddie's favorite side. He's got to worry about picking the 2 off the 5. He's got to get the ball up there enough to go through to get the 8. He throws. Be careful. Throwing away. Well, Eddie didn't cover him. He just caught that 2 pin very solid. The ball going on to the left, and the 2-pin took out both the 5 and the 8. Playing a perfect carom. Lillard in the 6th, trailing here by 20 pins. He lost the first game, or went in 22 down. He now trails by just about 40 pins, and he has 4 frames to go, and he can't stand many of those. Just a bit tight, the 4-pin. There's the spare. Lillard attended the Woodrow Wilson High School down in Dallas when he was a young fella. Went to Southern Methodist for 1 semester. Did some bowling in Tulsa, Oklahoma some years ago. In fact, averaged 219 there for the entire season in league competition. We're in the 7th. Lillard has got to move. Doesn't get enough of the pocket. He has the 2 and the 4. So Lillard, unable to take advantage, Kawolics gave him room. But Bill was unable to come up with the strikes. So Eddie, hanging on here as we run out of frames. There's the cover, and Lillard has it. Kawolics in the 7th. Eddie drying that hand off, in fact drying both of his hands off on that Brunswick hand dryer. Steps in now with that 2-finger ball, toes the 12-foot mark. Eddie starts actually left of center, then runs slightly to the right. Here's a big lift. Oh, brother, first bounce. Boy, he just has to lift that ball on the right side. Eddie's having a little conversation with Bill, told him that that was amazing. I don't know whether Lillard is listening or not, but I don't think Bill really cares too much about how amazing Kawolics is. He'd like to win this one. You can't blame him for that. So we go into the 8th. Too high, almost to 6, 7, 10. That'd have given Lillard a little room. Now Bill is still potential 213. Got to give him that because, as we say, if you can do it with a pencil, you can do it with a bowling ball. So 213 would mean that Kawolics will need 192. And to get 192, he's got to mark in the last 3 frames. There's one of them. So that's the story. Lillard has got to go all the way. Eddie has got to mark in the 9th and 10th. Bill shuffles up to the line. Could be the first one. There it is. So don't go away. Anything could happen. Lillard has got to go all the way, and he's got room for 4 more. 2, 1, 3. Kawolics would need a mark in the 9th and 10th. And it'll be that way because Lillard, with this strike, will sit down and Kawolics will finish first. If Eddie gets the 2 marks, it's all over. If he does not, with this strike, Lillard is in contention. Here it comes. Look at that ball. Boy, he really threw that one. A great lift, and he has put his opponent on the spot, actually. Eddie needs 2 spares, 2 marks. And nobody's going to help him if he does not get the 2 marks. If he is open in the 9th or the 10th, Lillard will have a chance to win. There it is. And that could just about be enough within a pin or 2, depending what may happen. Now, if Eddie is open in the 10th, he still has 195. 185, 194, 194. and he needed 192. So Eddie actually needs 9 pins. 8 pins will not be enough. He needs 9. That strike was important. He got the full count on the spare. He's there. He's got the double, and it's all over. So Eddie Kawolics now coasting into the semifinals to join Ray Bluth next week. Billy Golubievsky and Don Ellis. The winner of that one moves into the semifinals. So the veteran Kawolics, with some 40 years behind him as a great star, still throwing the two-finger ball, will have to contend with a couple of youngsters over the 6-game semifinals, each man meeting each other. Well, they're falling all over like a bumbershoot. Eddie gets 9. He's not worrying too much. He has also won the 3rd game right there with that one. The 9-pin count did it. He has shut Lillard out. Needed 8 pins, actually, in a cover. He got 9. 2-1-5. And it's Mr. Kawolics, home free in the 3rd game, 2-15. Lillard can go all the way for 2-13. So Eddie, certainly a very consistent shooter here with 682, 664, and 673. His 3 totals in winning 3 matches. He defeated Stan Gifford, he defeated Dick Hoover, and now has defeated Bill Lillard. 682, 664, and 673. That's just about a 223 average. Somewhere around there. There's the cover for Bill. And the count will give him 191, a 620 total, and it's not enough. So Bill Lillard, who has won 4 American Bowling Congress titles, has been eliminated. $191 doesn't get him. He gets 190, a 9-pin count. So in the 3rd game, Lillard 190, Kawolics 215. We'll have a word or two with these two fellas and talk about next week's match as we wind up the 3rd round and start thinking about the semifinals. Right now, Fred Wolf from Skokie, Illinois, and we have a word from our friendly hosts.
Popular, it's fun for you to do. It's popular like the taste of Fall City brew. Fall City beer. Popular, pasteurized, bitter-free Fall City beer.
It's free! It's free! RCA Victor Big Color TV. You can win it in the Bird's Eye RCA Victor Color the Kids contest.
Fun for the whole family. Color the Bird's Eye Kids, then tell in 25 words or less why you would like to own RCA Victor Big Color TV.
Because it's compatible. See color shows in living color. All regular programs in crisp, clear black and white.
Retail value $495. 100 sets free.
And 50 second prizes. RCA Victor Personal TV.
Entry blanks with complete instructions at your
grocers or your RCA Victor dealers. Mail yours with a Bird's Eye label or can top, or have your entry stamped by your RCA Victor dealer.
Before the final results, we have our bling professor with us again this week, Buddy Bomar. Buddy, what's the subject?
Well, Fred, we're going to talk about one of the causes for the backup ball.
The backup?
The backup ball.
I've got to watch that.
Well, the backup ball is a very undesirable ball. It's a ball that starts into the pins, gets right in front of the pocket, and says, whoops, and it goes the other way. It doesn't actually knock anything down. But I think one of the most common causes is you see people, they get all set to shoot, and they put an elbow here into this rib, and they put an elbow over in this rib. They break the wrist, they get the ball up in front of their face and on one toe, and when they trip forward, that's their trigger to start. As a rule, that person leaves the elbow right in the stomach, takes the ball back, have a backup before they ever start. Actually, they have the backup ball in their stance. If you merely drop the arms at your side, leave them there, raise the hands, leave the elbows where they were. you'll find it'll be much easier and the ball will get away much freer. And you'll have a nice, easy hook as you come through. It's our tip for the week.
Thank you very much. Buddy Bomar, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the final results. Bill Lillard with 202, 234, 190 for a total of 626. For Eddie Kawolics, 189, 269, the highest game roll thus far. 215, the total, 673. The winner, Eddie Kawolics. Let's call out the runner-up, Bill Lillard.
Pretty.
A little too much,
I guess
here?
I ought to thank Ed for that first game. He gave him those 60 pins, and he gave them back, and there wasn't a thing I could do after that. Too much Kawolics.
He came back beautifully. Bill, to get you back to St. Louis, happily, there's the runner-up check of $300. Good luck, and say hello to everybody back in the old hometown.
I'd like to wish everyone well. I think I have a teammate in the semifinals, Ray Bluth.
Ray Bluth.
And Kawolics, and whoever they'll be with them, Fred.
Thank you very much. Bill Lillard, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's call out the old workhorse, Eddie Kawolics. Boy, Eddie, we're in there, boy.
Oh,
$100 winning the third game, another $1,000.
Oh.
You are now in the semifinals. You're going to tangle with a couple of...
What I want to know, how much money do I get for that high game?
Well, we'll give that some thought, Eddie.
We better check with Ghost.
Let's say it was worth $1,000 because that's what won the match.
It is worth that.
Good luck.
At least.
See you in a few weeks.
Thank
Eddie
you.
Kawolics, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's take a look now. We have established two men now in the semifinals. Ray Bluth, Eddie Kawolics joins Ray, winning over Lillard here this week. Next week, Billy Golombiewski from Detroit. His opponent, the sensational Don Ellis from Chicago. That winner moves into the semifinals, and we'll have this winner, Kawolics and Bluth, who will go 6 games, each man meeting each other. The top 2 men will go into the finals. The low man will be eliminated. Try and join us again next week here on Championship Bowling's All-Star Television Tournament from the Orchard Twin Bowl in Skokie, Illinois. Until then, Fred Wolf just saying good bowling to you.